Across the ages, humanity has sought solace, a guiding voice in the wilderness of existence. From the whispers of desert winds to the quiet chambers of the heart, a timeless echo persists. It speaks of a shepherd, a guardian of the soul's journey. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." These words, penned millennia ago, still resonate with a profound truth, a promise of provision, of a care that transcends our understanding. They invite us into a sanctuary, a place where our deepest needs are met, not always in the ways we expect, but in the ways that truly sustain us. It is an ancient assurance, a wellspring of comfort for the searching spirit. This shepherd, this divine presence, does not lead us into barren lands or chaotic storms. Instead, he makes me lie down in green pastures. Imagine the verdant fields, a place of rest, of rejuvenation for the weary soul. He leads me beside still waters. Picture the tranquil pools, reflecting the calm he offers, a serenity that quiets the inner turmoil. He restores my soul. This is not merely a physical rest, but a deep spiritual renewal, a mending of what is broken, a gentle return to wholeness. It is an invitation to cease striving and to simply receive, to allow the quiet work of restoration to unfold within us. In the quiet moments when shadows lengthen and doubts creep in, remember this: you are not alone on this path, winding and sometimes uncertain as it may seem. You are not abandoned to the whims of fate or the harshness of circumstance. In every dark valley where fear may try to take root, and in every weary season when strength seems to falter, God is near, closer than your own breath, more constant than the rising sun. This presence is not a distant hope, but an immediate reality, a steadfast companion through all of life's landscapes. Feel that truth settle deep within your being, a warmth against the cold. Therefore, let these words, these affirmations of an enduring truth, be spoken over you now. Allow them to wash over your mind, your heart, your spirit. Let his promises cover you like the gentle morning dew, refreshing and cleansing, bringing new life to parched places. Breathe in peace, a deep intentional breath, drawing in the tranquility he offers. Exhale the burdens, the anxieties, the fears that weigh you down. This is Psalm 23, not just as ancient text, but as a living word, spoken over your life, for your life, in this very moment. Listen, and let your soul find its rest. Consider the profound comfort in being truly seen, not a superficial glance nor a judgmental stare, but a gaze that penetrates the veils we wear. The shepherd sees you, not just the face you present to the world, but the intricate tapestry of your innermost being, your hopes, your vulnerabilities. He sees the quiet battles you fight, the silent tears you've shed, the dreams you nurture in the secret garden of your heart. There is no need for pretense, no need to hide the parts of yourself you deem unworthy. In his sight, you are complete, an open book read with understanding and compassion. This knowing gaze is not one of scrutiny, but of profound recognition. And with this seeing comes an intimate knowing, a deep understanding that surpasses all human comprehension. I am fully known, you can affirm with quiet confidence. He knows the paths you have walked, the choices you have made, the reasons behind them. He understands the complexities of your thoughts, the whispers of your fears, the yearning for connection. This knowledge is not to condemn, but to embrace. It is a knowing that encompasses every flaw, every misstep, every moment of doubt. And yet, it does not diminish the love that flows towards you. Imagine the freedom in being so thoroughly understood without a single word needing to be spoken. This divine understanding is a bedrock for your soul. And perhaps the most astonishing truth of all, I am still deeply loved by my shepherd. Despite being fully seen, with all imperfections laid bare, despite being fully known, in every hidden corner of your existence, this love remains unwavering, undiminished, and profoundly deep. It is a love that does not depend on your perfection, but on his unchanging nature. It is a love that has weathered every storm, every doubt, every turning away. This is not a fragile affection, easily broken or withdrawn, but a resilient, enduring love that actively seeks your well-being. It is the love of a shepherd who would leave the 99 to find the one. So, allow this triple assurance to sink into the very marrow of your bones. I am seen, I am known, I am loved. Let these words become the rhythm of your heart, a gentle, steady beat. Internalize this truth, for it is the foundation of unshakable peace. When the world makes you feel invisible, remember you are seen. When misunderstanding isolates you, remember you are known. When you feel unworthy, remember you are deeply, irrevocably loved. This is the shepherd's promise, a sanctuary for your spirit, always open, always welcoming. Rest in this loving, knowing gaze. The future stretches before us, often veiled in mist, an unknown territory. It is natural for the human heart to feel a tremor of apprehension when facing the unseen. What lies around the next bend? What challenges will tomorrow bring? This fear of the unknown can be a heavy burden, a shadow that dims the light of the present. It whispers anxieties, paints scenarios of difficulty, and tempts us to shrink back. The path ahead is not always clear to our eyes, the map not always in our hands. We are in many ways travelers stepping into a landscape we have not yet charted. This uncertainty is a universal human experience, a shared vulnerability. But there is a counter-narrative, a promise of companionship that changes everything. I will not fear the unknown, you can declare, not with bravado, but with a quiet, rooted confidence. This courage does not stem from a denial of the uncertainties, nor from a claim to possess all the answers about what lies ahead. It arises from a deeper truth, a profound reliance. Because I walk with the one who holds the path. Imagine a guide, infinitely wise, infinitely patient, who knows every twist and turn. This guide does not just know a path, he holds the path. He is the way. The terrain may be unfamiliar to you, but it is intimately known to him. He has walked it before you, prepared it for you, and walks it now beside you. This assurance transforms the unknown from a source of dread into an adventure of trust. This walk is a journey of faith, a step-by-step progression in the company of the divine. It means placing your hand metaphorically or perhaps even literally into a larger, stronger hand. It means trusting that even when your vision is limited, his is not. He sees the obstacles before they appear to you, the resources you will need, the safe passages. This companionship does not promise an absence of challenges, but it does promise that you will never face them alone, never without guidance. Each step taken in this trust loosens the grip of fear, allowing a sense of peace to permeate your journey, even amidst uncertainty. The focus shifts from the unseen path to the ever-present guide. Therefore, let this gentle confidence become your shield against the arrows of anxiety. When the mists of the future gather, recall the presence of your unfailing guide. He who has numbered the stars and calls them by name also knows your name and your way. The unknown loses its power to intimidate when you realize you are not navigating it solo. The one who holds the path also holds you, his beloved traveler. So step forward with a lighter heart, with a spirit of quiet expectation, knowing that each moment is an unfolding of his careful design, and that his wisdom and love are your constant companions on this sacred journey. Fear not, for the Pathmaker walks with you. In the vast tapestry of human existence, there is a thread of concern, a whisper of doubt that often speaks of scarcity, of not having enough. We measure our lives, sometimes, by what we perceive to be missing, by the empty spaces rather than the abundant ones. Yet there is a profound truth, an ancient promise that echoes through the corridors of faith. I am not in lack. This is not a denial of our present circumstances, but a declaration of a deeper reality. A trust in a source that transcends our immediate understanding, a wellspring that never runs dry. It is an affirmation that shifts our gaze from the ephemeral to the eternal, from fleeting wants to enduring needs, all met. The shepherd, in his infinite understanding, perceives the core of our necessities, distinguishing them from the transient desires that often cloud our vision. He knows the sustenance required, not just for the body, but for the soul, for the spirit. Everything I need, the affirmation continues, he will provide. This provision is not a haphazard scattering of blessings, but a carefully curated supply tailored to our journey, to our growth. It speaks of a divine economy where nothing is wasted, and every true requirement is acknowledged and, in its own time, fulfilled. It is an invitation to release the anxieties of self-reliance and to embrace the comfort of a provision that is both complete and compassionate. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of departure, the human spirit often seeks solace, a quiet harbor from the day's exertions and agitations. There is a universal yearning to conclude our waking hours not in turmoil, but in tranquility. And so the soul whispers, "I will lie down in peace tonight." This is more than a hopeful wish. It is a profound statement of trust, an acceptance of an invitation to rest, offered by the shepherd himself. It is the anticipation of a gentle surrender, knowing that the night, often a canvas for our fears, can instead become a sanctuary of serene repose, a peace that passeth all understanding. This peace finds its imagery in the promise, "For he makes me rest in green pastures." Consider these green pastures. They are not merely fields of grass, but a metaphor for a state of being, a place of divine provision and profound security. They speak of nourishment for the weary soul, of a landscape untouched by the harshness of the wilderness, a sanctuary where the sheep can lay down their guard, free from predators, free from want. The shepherd actively leads us to these places, sometimes gently nudging, sometimes firmly guiding, because he knows our deep-seated need for restoration, for a space where we can simply be, held in his care. In the intricate dance of life, we often find ourselves caught in currents of confusion, buffeted by the winds of uncertainty, the cacophony of conflicting voices. The world can feel like a maelstrom, a relentless barrage of demands and distractions, where the path forward is obscured by the dust of daily struggles. Yet, amidst this potential for disarray, there shines a beacon of assurance. I am guided. This is not a claim of unerring personal navigation, but a recognition of a higher, steadier hand upon the tiller of our lives. It is the profound understanding that our journey is not a random drift, but a purposeful voyage. This guidance, crucially, is not by chaos, but by divine wisdom. Chaos is the realm of frantic energy, of reactive decisions, of being pulled in 1,000 directions with no true north. Divine wisdom, in stark contrast, is serene, discerning, and deeply rooted in an understanding that transcends our limited perspective. It is the quiet whisper that cuts through the noise, the gentle nudge that corrects our course, the unwavering light that pierces the densest fog. It speaks not of haste, but of intention, not of confusion, but of clarity. This wisdom is the very essence of the shepherd's care, a promise that we are never left to navigate the complexities of life alone or unequipped. In the ceaseless symphony of existence, where the clamor of the world often threatens to engulf our senses, there lies a profound truth, a quiet anchor for the weary spirit. It is the understanding that even amidst the swirling currents of chaos and the pressing weight of daily burdens, we possess the inherent capacity to declare, "I will not be overwhelmed." This is not a denial of the storm, but a recognition of an inner sanctuary, a steadfast core that remains untouched by the external tempest. It is an acknowledgement that the challenges we face, however formidable they may appear, do not possess the ultimate power to define or dismantle our inner peace. This quiet defiance, this gentle refusal to surrender to the tide of anxiety, is the first step towards reclaiming our sovereign calm. And how does this resilience manifest? It unfolds in the gentle, almost imperceptible mending of our innermost being, for my soul is being restored, moment by moment. This restoration is not a sudden dramatic event, but a delicate, continuous process, like the slow, patient unfurling of a fern in the quiet of the forest, or the gradual return of light after a long, dark night. Each breath, each conscious choice to seek solace, each small act of self-compassion contributes to this sacred renewal. It's a testament to the universe's inherent drive towards healing, towards wholeness. We are not static beings, forever marred by our trials. Rather, we are dynamic, ever-evolving tapestries, constantly being rewoven with threads of grace, strength, and emerging tranquility. Life, in its intricate tapestry, often leads us through valleys, those shadowed stretches of our journey marked by uncertainty, by sorrow, or by the chilling touch of fear. These are the times when the path ahead seems obscured, when the familiar landmarks of comfort and assurance fade into the mist. In such moments, a profound sense of isolation can settle upon the human heart, a feeling that we walk this arduous path utterly and irrevocably alone. The silence of the valley can echo with our deepest anxieties, amplifying our vulnerabilities. It is a primal human experience, this passage through darkness, a test of our endurance and our faith in what lies beyond the immediate gloom. Yet, even in the deepest ravine, where the light struggles to penetrate and the way forward is fraught with unseen obstacles, there is a counter-narrative, a whispered truth that resonates with enduring power. I am never alone in the valley. This is not merely a hopeful sentiment. It is an affirmation of a constant, unwavering companionship, a divine presence that walks beside us, unseen yet profoundly felt. It speaks of a shepherd who does not abandon the flock when the terrain becomes treacherous, but rather draws closer, offering guidance and unwavering protection. This assurance transforms the valley from a place of desolation into a passage of profound, albeit challenging, spiritual significance, where our reliance shifts from our own limited strength to an infinite source. There are moments in the human experience, etched deep within the chronicles of our lives, when the sheer weight of existence seems to press down upon us, urging surrender. The journey can become arduous, the path ahead obscured by persistent fog, and the whispers of doubt can grow into a deafening chorus, tempting us to lay down our burdens and simply cease our striving. This is the precipice of despair, where the weariness of spirit threatens to extinguish the flame of hope. The temptation to give up, to concede defeat in the face of relentless challenges, is a profoundly human one, a natural response to prolonged adversity. It is here, at this critical juncture, that a deeper resolve must be summoned. It is in such moments that the soul can rise, drawing upon an ancient, resilient strength to declare with unwavering conviction, "I will not give up." This is more than mere stubbornness. It is an act of profound faith, a refusal to allow the present darkness to dictate the future's dawn. This declaration becomes a turning point, a conscious choice to persevere, not in naive denial of the struggle, but in profound acknowledgement of a greater truth that underpins our existence. It is the understanding that our journey, however difficult, is not without purpose, and our efforts, however small they may seem, contribute to a larger unfolding narrative of resilience and ultimate triumph, powered by forces beyond our immediate perception. There are moments, are there not, when the world stretches out before us, vast and echoing with an unnerving silence. Times when the vibrant tapestry of life seems to fade, leaving behind a canvas of stark emptiness, a feeling of profound isolation. In these desolate landscapes of the soul, where connection feels distant and comfort seems a forgotten language, it is easy to believe we are utterly alone. Yet, even in the most barren expanses of our experience, a deeper truth persists, a subtle but powerful reality. It is the truth of an encompassing presence, a divine atmosphere that permeates all things, unseen, yet undeniably there, waiting to be acknowledged, a constant in a world of shifting shadows. This presence, this sacred companionship, does not always announce itself with thunderous declarations or blinding visions. More often, it is a gentle whisper in the stillness, a quiet stirring within the heart, an intuitive knowing that transcends the clamor of our doubts and fears. It can be found in the unexpected warmth of a sunbeam on a cold day, in the intricate beauty of a single snowflake, or in the unbidden sense of peace that settles upon us in moments of quiet reflection. It is an awareness that we are part of something infinitely larger than ourselves, a consciousness that enfolds us, understands us, and holds us, even when the evidence of our senses suggests otherwise. This is the subtle art of perceiving the divine in the mundane, of recognizing the sacred in the silence. To truly grasp this understanding is to transform the very nature of our solitude. What once felt like a desolate void becomes a sacred space, filled with an unspoken dialogue, a comforting reassurance. The journey through life, with its inevitable moments of loneliness, is reframed. We are not merely wanderers in an indifferent universe. We are beings accompanied, watched over, and subtly guided by a presence that desires our well-being. This realization doesn't erase the challenges, but it infuses them with a different quality, a sense of being held, of being known in the deepest recesses of our being, a companionship that asks nothing but our quiet attention. It is a peace that passes understanding, found not in the absence of trials, but in the certainty of an unfailing presence. And so, let this knowing settle deep within your spirit, I am surrounded by His presence, even when the world feels empty. Actively listen for that still, small voice. Look for those quiet affirmations of a love that never falters. In the hush of the morning, in the quiet of the night, in the spaces between your thoughts, invite this awareness to fill you. For this presence is not a distant hope, but an immediate reality, an embrace that is always there, a sanctuary within, a constant reminder that you are, and always will be, profoundly and completely held. This is the solace that anchors the soul, the quiet strength that sees us through the emptiest of valleys. Life, in its intricate dance of joy and sorrow, inevitably leads us through valleys of shadow. These are the passages of uncertainty, the corridors of doubt, the seasons of grief or fear where clarity seems obscured and the path ahead is veiled in gloom. These shadows can take many forms: the specter of illness, the weight of loss, the sting of betrayal, or the chilling breath of the unknown. They are an inescapable part of the human condition, moments where our courage is tested and our faith is called upon to be more than just a fair-weather companion. These are the times when the darkness feels palpable, threatening to overwhelm and disorient, making each step forward feel like a monumental effort. Yet, it is precisely in these shadowed places that another truth seeks to reveal itself: the presence of an indomitable light. This is not merely the absence of darkness, but an active, radiant force, a divine illumination that dwells within and around us. This light can be understood as hope, that resilient ember that glows even in the deepest night. It is wisdom, guiding our steps when the way is unclear. It is love, a warmth that can dispel the coldest fears. It is an inner knowing, a spiritual compass that points towards resilience and truth, even when external circumstances scream the contrary. This light is a gift, a constant companion, a beacon that cannot be extinguished by the transient shadows of the world. When we consciously choose to acknowledge and carry this light, a profound transformation occurs within our experience of the shadows. Fear, though it may still whisper at the edges of our awareness, loses its paralyzing grip. The path, though still perhaps shrouded in uncertainty, becomes navigable, step by uncertain step. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to walk forward despite it, fueled by the conviction that we are not alone in the darkness. This inner light illuminates our immediate surroundings, showing us where to place our next foot, giving us just enough to keep moving, to persevere through the gloom, trusting that the dawn will eventually break, or that our eyes will adjust to see by this divine glow. Therefore, let this affirmation be your steadfast guide. I will walk through shadows without fear because His light is with me. Recognize this indwelling luminescence as your birthright, your unwavering source of strength. When the shadows lengthen and the way forward seems obscure, turn inward to that radiant spark. Nurture it with your faith, fan it with your courage, and allow it to guide your perception and your actions. For this light is more powerful than any darkness, a constant reminder that even in the deepest valley, you are accompanied, you are guided, and you are never truly lost. This is the promise of illumination, the unwavering presence of divine guidance. Throughout human history, across cultures and traditions, the act of anointing with oil has carried profound spiritual significance. It is a sacred ritual, a tangible symbol of something deeply intangible, yet powerfully real. To be anointed is to be touched by the divine, to be consecrated for a purpose, to be marked for a special destiny. The oil itself, often fragrant and precious, represents healing, comfort, and the outpouring of grace. It signifies a setting apart, a transition from the ordinary to the sacred, a preparation for service, or an acknowledgement of inherent worth and divine favor. This ancient practice speaks to a deep human yearning to be recognized, to be sanctified, to be imbued with a higher calling. To affirm I am anointed is to claim this sacred designation for oneself, not out of arrogance, but from a place of profound humility and acceptance. It is to understand that each soul is set apart, unique in its journey and its expression of the divine. It means recognizing that you are chosen, not for exclusion or privilege over others, but chosen to embody love, to manifest your unique gifts, to contribute your singular note to the symphony of creation. This sense of being chosen is an invitation to live with intention, to honor the divine spark within, and to walk a path aligned with a purpose greater than mere self-interest. It is a call to authenticity, to be who you were truly created to be. This anointing also carries with it the undeniable truth of being blessed. And what is this blessing if not the infusion of divine grace into every facet of our existence? It is not solely about material abundance, though that may be a part of it for some. More deeply, it is about spiritual richness, an inner wellspring of peace that sustains through trials. It is the blessing of resilience, the ability to rise after falling. It is the capacity to love and to receive love, to forgive and to be forgiven. It is the quiet joy that blossoms from a heart aligned with its sacred anointing, a profound sense of well-being that transcends the fleeting circumstances of the external world. This blessing is a continuous flow, a river of grace. Therefore, embrace this truth with an open heart and a willing spirit. I am anointed with oil, set apart, chosen, and blessed. Feel the gentle touch of this consecration upon your brow, upon your heart. Understand that this is not a status to be earned, but a grace to be received, an identity to be lived. You are inherently worthy, marked by divine love, and endowed with gifts meant to bless the world. Walk forward in the quiet confidence of this anointing, allowing it to shape your thoughts, your words, and your actions, transforming your life into a testament of this sacred truth, a beacon of hope and grace for all to see. Throughout the ages, humanity has grappled with the pervasive shadow of fear. It whispers in the quiet moments of doubt, it shouts in the face of uncertainty, and it seeks to build its desolate kingdom within the heart of every soul. This fear, a primal instinct, once served to protect us from the dangers of a wilder world. But in our modern lives, it can become a cage, limiting our vision, stifling our dreams, and poisoning the wellspring of joy. It attempts to convince us that anxiety is our natural state, that apprehension is our closest companion. But deep within the human spirit, there lies a counter-narrative, a truth that resonates with a power far greater than any fleeting terror. This profound truth speaks of an inheritance, not of material wealth or earthly dominion, but of something infinitely more precious: peace. Consider this: peace, not as a temporary cessation of conflict, nor as a fragile truce with the anxieties of life, but as a birthright, a divine legacy bestowed upon us. It is an endowment woven into the very fabric of our being by a benevolent creator, a steadfast anchor in the often turbulent seas of existence. This inheritance is not something we must strive to earn through arduous labor or perfect piety. It is a gift freely given, waiting patiently to be claimed, to be unwrapped from the layers of worry and distraction that so easily accumulate. The journey to claim this inheritance requires a conscious, deliberate act of will. "I will not settle for fear" becomes more than a mere affirmation. It is a declaration of independence, a courageous stand against the tyranny of trepidation. It is the soul rising up to say, "No more." This decision involves recognizing fear's insidious attempts to usurp our inner throne, to understand its tactics, and then to consciously choose a different path, a different ruler for our inner world. It is an ongoing commitment, a daily turning away from the shadows and toward the serene light that is rightfully ours, a testament to the inherent strength residing within. And as we embrace this inheritance, as we choose peace over fear, a remarkable transformation begins to unfold. The world, once viewed through the distorting lens of anxiety, starts to appear in its true colors. Challenges become opportunities for growth. Uncertainties become invitations to trust. And the clamor of the world begins to fade, replaced by a quiet confidence, a deep-seated calm that permeates every aspect of our lives. This peace, our sacred inheritance, becomes the very air we breathe, the ground upon which we stand, empowering us to navigate life not as victims of circumstance, but as inheritors of a divine and unshakable tranquility. The human experience is so often filtered through the prism of our emotions. We feel joy, and the world seems bright. We feel sorrow, and a pall descends upon all we see. Our feelings, while valid and an integral part of our humanity, can be notoriously unreliable narrators of our ultimate reality. They ebb and flow like the tides, influenced by circumstance, by health, by the fleeting thoughts that drift through our minds. To base our understanding of our standing in the universe solely on these shifting sands is to build our house upon an uncertain foundation, leaving us vulnerable to the whims of every passing storm of doubt or discouragement. Yet beyond the fluctuating landscape of our emotional lives, there exists a more constant, more profound reality, the concept of divine favor. Imagine it not as a sporadic blessing bestowed only upon the fortunate few, but as an ever-present undercurrent of benevolent intention. A gentle stream of goodwill flowing from the very source of creation towards each and every one of us. This favor is not contingent upon our successes or our failures, nor is it dependent on our ability to perceive its presence at every given moment. It is a steadfast grace, an unspoken assurance that we are held, supported, and guided, even when the path ahead seems obscured or our hearts feel heavy. To declare, "I am walking in favor," even when I don't feel it, is therefore an act of profound faith. It is a conscious choice to align ourselves with this deeper truth, to trust in a reality that transcends the immediate testimony of our senses. It means acknowledging that our feelings, however potent, do not define the entirety of our experience or our connection to the divine. Walking in favor is a posture of quiet confidence, a steadfast belief that even in moments of trial, when blessings seem distant and support feels absent, this unseen current of grace continues to carry us forward, shaping our journey in ways we may not immediately comprehend. This unwavering belief in an encompassing favor, even when imperceptible, cultivates a remarkable resilience within the human spirit. It allows us to navigate the inevitable challenges of life, not with a sense of desolation, but with an underlying assurance that we are not alone, that a benevolent force is subtly at work on our behalf. It transforms our perspective, enabling us to see beyond temporary setbacks, to trust that even difficulties can be instruments of growth when viewed through the lens of this abiding favor. It is the quiet strength that whispers, "All is well," even when the world around us suggests otherwise, a testament to a grace that operates beyond our feeling. It is a fundamental human impulse, this yearning to know, to understand, to see the end from the beginning. We crave certainty, a map that clearly delineates every twist and turn of the path ahead. This desire for foresight is natural, an attempt to secure ourselves against the unknown, to prepare for what lies beyond the horizon. Yet, life, in its infinite wisdom and complexity, rarely offers such comprehensive blueprints. More often, we find ourselves on a journey where the destination remains veiled, where the next step is illuminated but the ultimate vista is shrouded in mist, challenging our innate need for control and complete understanding. To trust the journey, even when I can't see the destination, is to embrace a different way of being, a profound surrender to the unfolding mystery of existence. It is an acknowledgement that the path itself holds intrinsic value, that each experience, each encounter, each challenge and each triumph is a vital part of a larger, often inscrutable design. This trust suggests that the journey is not merely a means to an end, but a sacred process of becoming, where lessons are learned, character is forged, and wisdom is acquired in the very act of moving forward, even into the unknown. It shifts the focus from a frantic pursuit of a distant goal to a mindful appreciation of the present passage. This trust is not a blind leap into darkness, but rather a deep-seated intuition, a quiet conviction that we are not adrift in a chaotic universe. It is the belief that a guiding intelligence, a benevolent wisdom, underpins the unfolding of our lives, subtly shaping our course even when we feel lost or uncertain. It is the faith that the path, however winding or steep it may appear, is leading us toward a place of greater understanding, purpose, and fulfillment, even if that place remains unseen for a time. This trust allows us to release the burden of needing to know all the answers, to navigate by an inner compass of faith, rather than by the limited sight of our immediate perception. In this surrender, in this willingness to trust the unseen trajectory of our lives, lies a profound liberation. The anxiety that stems from uncertainty begins to dissipate, replaced by a sense of adventurous curiosity and patient endurance. We learn to find comfort in the unfolding, to appreciate the beauty of the immediate landscape without an obsessive concern for what lies miles ahead. Trusting the journey allows us to engage more fully with the present moment, to extract its wisdom, and to move forward with a serene confidence, knowing that even if the destination is hidden, the journey itself is rich with meaning and guided by a loving hand. In the quiet chambers of the human heart, a relentless tide of worries can often gather like storm clouds on a distant horizon, threatening to engulf the fragile peace we so desperately seek. These anxieties, born of uncertainty, of fear, of the unknown future, can feel like immense weights, pressing down upon the spirit, threatening to pull us under. Yet, there exists a counterforce, an unseen anchor in the tempest, a power more profound and enduring than any fleeting concern. We call it grace. This grace is not a mere concept, but a palpable presence, a divine embrace that surrounds us, a steadfast current flowing from the very source of all existence, holding us firm, even when the winds of tribulation howl around us. Our worries, in their insidious way, attempt to fragment our inner world, scattering our thoughts like leaves in a gale, whispering insidious doubts about our worth, our path, our very survival. They paint vivid pictures of failure, of loss, of impending doom, seeking to define our reality through the lens of fear. But grace operates on a different plane altogether. It is the quiet strength that reassembles the scattered pieces of our being, not by silencing the noise of our anxieties, but by offering a deeper, more resonant truth. It is the gentle hand that mends the tears in the fabric of our soul, a persistent, loving energy that reminds us we are more than the sum of our fears, more than the specters that haunt our waking moments. Consider the profound declaration, "I am held together." Imagine the human spirit, a vessel navigating the often turbulent waters of life, susceptible to the cracks and fissures caused by relentless pressure. Grace, in this understanding, becomes the divine adhesive, the spiritual sinew that binds us, ensuring our integrity. This is not a strength we muster on our own, but a gift freely given, an unmerited favor that sustains us from within. This holding is not a rigid, unyielding grip, but a resilient, flexible support allowing us to bend without breaking, to face the storms not with brittle resistance but with an enduring, supple strength that allows for growth even amidst the chaos. And so, we find ourselves anchored by this grace, a force undeniably stronger than the most persistent of our worries. It is a fundamental truth, a bedrock upon which we can build our lives, a silent promise woven into the very essence of our being. We are invited, in every moment of doubt, in every surge of anxiety, to lean into this invisible support, to feel its unwavering presence. It is a profound reassurance that our worries, however colossal they may appear in our minds, are ultimately outmatched, overshadowed by a love, a power, a grace that holds us now and always in its tender, unyielding embrace, a constant in a world of change. There is a startling, almost audacious image presented to us. A feast, a symbol of joyous abundance, of profound peace and celebration, not tucked away in some secluded sanctuary, but boldly set amidst the very presence of our enemies. These enemies can take many forms: the external forces that oppose us, the internal doubts that gnaw at our confidence, the challenging circumstances that threaten to overwhelm our spirit. To imagine feasting in such a context is not an act of denial, nor is it a display of naive bravado. Instead, it speaks to a depth of trust, a radical faith in a divine provision, and an unshakable protection that transcends the immediate threat, a quiet defiance in the face of adversity. What then are these enemies that surround our table? They are the shadows of fear that try to dictate our choices, the whispers of scarcity that tell us there is not enough, the specters of past failures that seek to haunt our present. They are the forces of negativity, the currents of despair, the opposition that rises against our journey towards light and truth. The act of partaking in this prepared feast, consciously and with intention, in their very midst, becomes a powerful declaration. It is a statement that their influence is ultimately limited. Their power to define our experience is nullified by a greater, more benevolent authority. It is a spiritual stand, born not of arrogance, but of a deep, abiding assurance in the one who sets the table. Focus for a moment on the profound statement. He prepares a table for me. This is no haphazard affair, no quickly assembled meal. The preparation implies meticulous care, divine foresight, and an intention to honor and to nourish. The The table itself is laden not merely with physical sustenance, but with spiritual fortitude, with peace that surpasses understanding, with joy that defies circumstance. It becomes a sacred space, a sanctuary established in the heart of the conflict, a visible testament to an unwavering personal care that sees our needs even before we fully recognize them ourselves. It is an invitation to rest, to be replenished, even as the battle rages just beyond its edge. Therefore, this feast is far more than a simple meal. It is a profound symbol of an already secured victory, a celebration of divine fidelity. It is an invitation to experience abundance, to embrace joy, to find solace, not in the utopian absence of challenges, but squarely within their very presence. This divine act transforms the barren battlefield into a banqueting hall, demonstrating with irrefutable clarity that the ultimate power to provide, to protect, and to grant peace rests not with the forces of opposition, but with the benevolent host who prepares such an improbable, glorious feast for us, beckoning us to partake and be filled. Deep within the human psyche resides a primal fear, the chilling dread of being forgotten, of becoming lost in the vast, indifferent expanse of the cosmos, or worse, buried beneath the rubble of life's relentless trials. We yearn for significance, for a sense that our existence matters, that our struggles are seen. Against this profound anxiety, there stands an even more profound assurance. I am not forgotten. This is not a passive remembrance, a mere noting of our presence, but an active, engaged consciousness, a divine awareness that holds us, values us, and ultimately leads us towards healing and restoration. It is the promise that no soul is ever truly lost to the one who created it. The phrase, "what the world tried to break," resonates with a painful familiarity for so many. The world, in this context, can represent the myriad forces that inflict damage, the harshness of circumstance, the cruelty of others, the slow erosion of hope by disappointment, the sudden shattering of dreams. It can refer to our spirit, once vibrant, now perhaps bruised, our relationships, once whole, now perhaps fractured, our sense of self, once clear, now perhaps clouded by pain. The breaking is a stark reality, leaving scars upon the soul, wounds that ache with the memory of what was lost. Acknowledging this damage is the first step towards understanding the miracle of divine mending. And then, the powerful, transformative declaration, "He restores." This is the divine counteraction to the world's destructive tendencies. Restoration, in this sacred sense, implies far more than a simple repair, more than just patching up the broken pieces. It suggests a profound renewal, a making whole that can even transcend the original state, imbuing the mended creation with new strength, new beauty, new purpose. It is an act of divine artistry, where the fragments of a shattered life are gathered with infinite tenderness and reformed into something resilient and radiant. This is not merely fixing, it is a recreation, born of unconditional love and limitless power. This promise of restoration offers an unquenchable beacon of hope. It assures us that no matter how deeply we feel fractured, no matter how permanent the damage may seem, we are not beyond the reach of this divine mending. It speaks of an ongoing process, a sacred journey from brokenness towards an ever-increasing wholeness, guided by a loving hand that never forgets, never abandons, and always seeks to reclaim and renew. This affirmation is a lifeline for every soul that has felt the sting of the world's harshness, a steadfast promise that even the most profound wounds can be healed, and what was lost can, in time, be wonderfully, miraculously restored by the ultimate architect of our being. The landscapes of our lives, much like the ancient earth, are etched with peaks and valleys, with sunlit plateaus and shadowed ravines. There are seasons when we find ourselves walking through these low-lying places, where the ascent seems distant and the familiar comfort of the summit feels like a forgotten dream. These valleys, whether moments of sorrow, periods of doubt, or times of profound challenge, are an undeniable part of the human pilgrimage. Yet, within the heart of this affirmation lies a powerful truth. These spaces are not our permanent address. I will not stay in the valley forever, we declare, not as a mere wish, but as a statement of intent, a recognition of the dynamic nature of our spiritual journey, ever moving, ever evolving, ever guided. To be in the valley is to experience a unique perspective, one that can, at times, feel confining. The horizons might appear limited, the path forward obscured by the closeness of the slopes on either side. It is here, in these moments of perceived stillness or struggle, that the spirit can be tempted to believe that the valley is the entirety of the world. But the very essence of a valley implies passage. It is a conduit, a pathway carved by ancient forces, leading from one point to another. I'm passing through, the affirmation continues, reminding us that our current circumstances, however deep or shadowed they may seem, are part of a larger unfolding narrative, a sacred transition towards something more expansive and illuminating. Consider the vastness of the cosmos, the intricate dance of galaxies, and then bring your focus to something even more profound, the mercy that envelops your very being. This isn't a passive, distant benevolence. It is an active, relentless pursuit. Like a shepherd who never abandons his flock, this divine mercy seeks you out, not because of your perfection, but because of your intrinsic worth. It is a current in the ocean of existence, always flowing towards you, a testament to a love that knows no bounds. It whispers in the quiet moments and roars in the face of despair, a constant reminder that you are cherished, endlessly and unconditionally. This mercy is the universe's most tender embrace, designed specifically for you. Imagine waking each morning, not to the weight of yesterday's burdens, but to a fresh anointing of grace. Every single day, the psalmist assures us, this mercy is renewed. It is as if the dawn itself carries this gift, washing over the landscape of your soul, cleansing, restoring, and offering a new beginning. This daily renewal is not a mere theological concept. It is a lived experience, a tangible presence that reshapes our perception of time. Each sunrise becomes an invitation to step into this fresh wave of compassion, to breathe it in, and to allow it to redefine the narrative of your life. It is a promise that no matter what transpired before, today holds the potential for profound peace, carried on the wings of this ever-present mercy. In a world that often measures worth by achievement and offers forgiveness conditionally, this divine mercy stands in stark, beautiful contrast. It does not wait for us to be worthy. It makes us worthy through its unwavering presence. It is a love that sees beyond our faults, our stumbles, our moments of doubt, and continues to pour itself out. Think of it as a shield, deflecting the harsh judgments of the world and the even harsher judgments we often place upon ourselves. This mercy doesn't ask for repentance as a prerequisite for its arrival. Rather, its very presence often inspires the turning of the heart. It is a foundational truth upon which a life of hope can be built, a steadfast anchor in the often turbulent seas of human experience. And so, you walk through your days, not exposed and vulnerable, but covered. This covering is more than a fleeting comfort. It is a permanent garment woven from the threads of divine love and compassion. It follows you, not as a shadow of judgment, but as a luminous presence, a constant companion ensuring that you are never truly alone, never beyond the reach of grace. This mercy is the air you breathe, the ground beneath your feet, the silent song that orchestrates the rhythm of your existence. It is the ultimate assurance that, in every moment, through every challenge, you are held, sustained, and deeply, irrevocably loved by the very source of life itself. We often envision the house of the Lord as a distant, future destination, a celestial realm reached only at the end of life's long journey. But what if this sacred dwelling is not confined to a place beyond the stars, but is, in fact, an intimate sanctuary accessible to us in every present moment? The affirmation, I will dwell in the house of the Lord, not just someday, but today in my heart, invites us into this profound realization. It speaks of an internal kingdom, a sacred space within the very core of our being where the divine resides. This is not merely a poetic metaphor. It is a transformative truth that redefines our understanding of presence and belonging, making the holy immediate and personal. To dwell in this inner house means to cultivate an awareness of the sacred spark that resides within you. It is to recognize that your heart, this beating center of your physical and emotional life, can also be a temple, a place of communion with the eternal. Imagine this inner sanctum, a quiet chamber within your soul, impervious to the storms of the external world. Here, peace is not a fleeting visitor, but a permanent resident. This indwelling presence transforms our inner landscape from a place of potential chaos or anxiety into a haven of tranquility and strength. It is here in the quietude of your own heart that you can meet the divine, listen for guidance, and find an unshakable sense of home. Humanity has long journeyed to sacred sites, climbed mountains, and built magnificent cathedrals in search of the divine. These quests are born from a deep yearning for connection. Yet, the most profound pilgrimage may be the inward one, the journey to the sacred space within our own hearts. This inner temple requires no grand edifice, no specific ritual, only the willingness to turn inward, to listen, and to acknowledge the divine presence that has always been there. This portability of the sacred means that wherever you go, you carry your sanctuary with you. In moments of joy or sorrow, in solitude or amidst a crowd, this inner house remains accessible, a constant source of solace and connection. Therefore, this dwelling is not a future aspiration, but a present reality, a continuous state of being. It is an invitation to live each day with the awareness that you are a carrier of the sacred, a living temple. This understanding fosters a deep sense of belonging, not to a place, but to a presence that is always with you and within you. Today, in my heart, becomes the mantra of a life lived in conscious communion with the divine, a life where every breath can be a prayer and every heartbeat a song of praise. This is the ultimate homecoming, finding the eternal not in a distant land, but in the familiar territory of your own soul, a sacred ground always beneath your feet. Across the ages, through trials and triumphs, a singular truth echoes. He restores your soul. When the world has chipped away at your spirit, when weariness settles deep within your bones, there is a divine hand that reaches out, mending, renewing, breathing life back into the very core of who you are. He walks with you, not as a distant observer, but as an intimate companion on every step of this intricate journey. In moments of confusion, when the path ahead is shrouded in mist, remember this: He leads. Your part, then, is simple yet profound. You follow. And even in the shadows, those places of fear or uncertainty, His light is not extinguished. Indeed, it is there that He shines, a beacon guiding you through. Let this truth, this undeniable reality of divine presence and guidance, not be a fleeting thought, but let it live in you today. Let it permeate your consciousness, settle into your spirit, and become the bedrock of your understanding. You are never alone. This is not a hopeful wish, but a statement of fact, a spiritual law as immutable as gravity. In every breath, in every silence, in every crowd, and in every solitary moment, a divine companionship envelops you. This assurance is the antidote to fear, the balm for loneliness, the unwavering foundation upon which a life of courage and peace can be built. Embrace it, for it is your most fundamental truth. If these words, these affirmations drawn from the ancient wellspring of Psalm 23, have brought a measure of peace to your spirit, if they have resonated with that deep inner knowing, then we invite you to connect further. Like this reflection, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell. The intention is simple. So each morning, His word, His comfort, His strength can meet you right where you are, offering a moment of sacred pause before the day unfolds. Let this be a daily ritual, a gentle anchoring in the eternal, a reminder of the peace that is always available to you, waiting to be embraced. And as you carry this peace, share it. Extend this invitation to someone who needs reminding that God is still in the valley with them, that their struggles do not go unnoticed, that hope remains. We encourage you to come back tomorrow and the day after for more peace-filled affirmations, for a continued journey into the heart of divine reassurance. Until then, may His word, with all its power, its comfort, and its unending love, rest over you, a gentle covering, a whispered blessing. May you feel its presence, its shelter, and its profound peace. Amen.